Sefer Yesira by Avi Solomon is a book that is now out of print, unfortunately. It basically went out of print almost instantly. This is the new hardcover edition by Hadean Press. This is a completely new translation by Avi Solomon of the Sefer Yesira, which, of course, as many of you probably know, is at the origin of the Tree of Life and of a lot of Hebrew Jewish Kabbalah. The introduction is very interesting. It's got many lovely colored images of the sources that Avi Solomon used for making this introduction. And the introduction really has two parts that caught my attention, or rather that I could notice. The first is really a deep dive into these two sections of the Sefer Yesira, which you can find on pages 75, and 77. Here they are. Yeah. So it's basically the first 3 lines of this and then the first 3 lines of the following page. And the author, the translator, should I say, and the author of this very interesting introduction, has suggested that that this is a technique, and it's a really interesting technique, a technique whereby the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet are placed with all the other 22 letters. And I guess that this, on the back of the book over here, let me just see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. In very, very small writing here, but of course creating this beautiful pattern, is exactly that, each letter with every other letter. The passage goes 22 elemental letters set in a wheel-vel or a volvel with 231 gates. The wheel revolves back and forth. And it's the idea is that this is a technique, a prayerful technique, and it's quite beautiful the way Avi Solomon shows us how this technique is used. And then the second part is really about golems, and I suppose the two parts are really linked because the one is feeds into the other, and he gives us many different techniques for creating a golem from various sources, and it's just wonderful. We get the actual sources themselves. And the fully explained, fully translated techniques. The Hebrew letters have been all translated into Latin letters. I think that may be the only issue that I have with this book, is that I guess I could have liked to have the Hebrew letters and then maybe the Latin equivalents written in brackets next to them. But of course, this is a choice of the translator, and certainly not my call to make. Then the translation itself is lovely. So you do in fact have the Hebrew letters or Hebrew verses on the left-hand page, and the English translation on the right-hand page. This has been compiled from some best sources of the Hebrew version, and then translated into English. The translator Avi Solomon actually says in this introduction that he's that he has made an addition to the to this best translation, this modern a new Hebrew transcription, right? So it's a translation of a new Hebrew transcription based on the best guesses from the best sources, right? And he has added a page from a source that hadn't been added to that critical edition, which is once again his prerogative, and he tells us exactly what that is, and he explains that the reason why he added that page which had been omitted is precisely to emphasize this technique of the volvel, the wheel vel, from that page 75 and 76. So that's really, really nice. Now, it's Lon Milo Duquette who said that the Sefer Yesira is one of those books that Kabbalists like to have on their shelves and don't necessarily get round to reading. And I have to say that if ever there was an edition that is really calling to be read, then this really is the one. I'm showing it to you here so that if you see it on the second-hand market, you get an idea of what you're getting. You can see it is in fact Smith's own. It's some rather nice end papers there, kind of textured linen paper. Yeah, and whoops, and the cover of the book is it feels like nylon, right? It's that kind of hardened plastic thread. It is nevertheless it is definitely a weave, as you can see, but it seems to be a weave of a plastic origin, right? But that simply means that it'll last for a very, very long time, which is good. Yeah, it's a little bit hard, a little bit cold to the touch, so it's don't expect a cloth bound, like a soft cloth bound book, right? Oh. I'm using a tripod for the first time today. Many of you will have noticed. I'm not sure I'm enjoying the experience, but some of you have been really complaining about the shaky cam. So we'll see how we go with this. All in all, a lovely, lovely book. And the translator, Avi Solomon, has actually said that he has made the text available, despite this being out of print now, right? He has made the text available in an electronic form, and I will leave the link in the description so that you can check that out in your own time. There we go. The Sefer Yesira, the Hadean Press edition by Avi Solomon. A lovely, lovely edition. Very, very lovely. I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Tell me what you think of the tripod format. I will have to make a call on whether to continue with this or not. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.